We're back. The best of food and wine with Anthony Gismondi and Kasey Wilson, live from the Wines of Canada stage at the 2017 Vancouver International Wine Festival. Now, here's Tony and Kasey.
I'm on top of the world.
Well, welcome back to the Best of Food and Wine. I'm Tony Gismondi.
I'm Kasey Wilson.
We are in the middle of 3,000 people tasting wine. Canada's the theme, but there's a lot of other countries here. One in particular, which I love a lot, is Spain. And joining us now from Spain is from Familia Castano is our old friend Daniel Castano. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you.
Great to have you back. I love the new logo, the name, everything. Everything's progressing in the right way, I think. But anyway, let's set the stage for our listeners who probably know all your wines well, but about where you're from and where you sit in Spain.
Well, we are located in the southeast part of Spain. This is a region where we enjoy a kind of microclimate. Yeah. The fact that we are pretty close to the coastal area is essential because at the same time we are in a high plateau, but we still enjoy this kind of breeze that blows from the sea. And we get a very sort of dry continental condition, cold winters and very hot summer.
And very old vines.
That's correct. Exactly.
Yekla, you say Yekla
yep.
for the region.
That's right.
Is becoming actually synonymous with Castano, I think, in many ways.
That is quite true. Yes.
Yeah. And you guys are very big on a single grape variety called Monastrell.
That is, yeah.
A variety the French would call Mourvedre on the other side of the border, and you call Monastrell.
Yeah, it's a grape variety. It's super well adapted to the environment and the climate we've got there. Is one of the varieties we would say super resistant to dry condition. The region, this southeast part of Spain, we may say it's one of the driest regions in the whole country in Spain. And this variety could, we've seen long periods of no rain, and these non-irrigated blocks have been amazingly behaved under this condition. So it's an amazing adaptation of the variety.
Hard to believe when you think about a vine not getting any rain at all. It's hard to believe that it could survive, but they're tough.
Definitely.
And they yield great fruit, so that's a good thing.
That's phenomenal.
You brought a couple of wines today. The first one, I'm sure a lot of our listeners are familiar with, Hecula. Let's start with that, the 2013. Also 100% Monastrell, but it's kind of a friendly wine.
Yeah.
Sort of, I guess.
Absolutely. So we've got two good examples of what Monastrell can achieve. The most perhaps relevant differentiation here could be the age of the vines. In both cases, we are talking about vines that are not irrigated, bush vines. Most of the vineyard in our region are vines that have not been grafted, so they are ungrafted vines, well established in this type of soil. We are talking about a clay, limestone soil, so super well adapted there. And in this case, Hecula could be a medium body, easy to drink. Talking about 45, 50 years old vine. So that's starting to be a good age where we get very nice, juicy, good concentration, good structure, but at the same time it's quite easy, quite fine, refined in the palate, and a short barrel age in this case. We're talking about 6 months, combining both French and American oak.
Yeah. But not too long.
I see a lot of 90s, 92, 91, 90 on the wine bottle.
High scores.
The wine have been very well supported over a number of years, and I think it's important perhaps to transmit that to the consumer. We definitely think it's a wine not only because of this type of lovely quality, but is definitely well priced. So we would call a wine that is a good value wine in the end. And I mean, it was important in this case to transmit.
There's many other famous varieties in Spain: Garnacha, the Grenache, Carignan. There are so many, but the family's chosen to really focus on Monastrell. Why is that? What is the fixation with Monastrell?
My family has been in the region for quite a long time. When we really started and concentrated on bottling, we knew very few people even in Spain or outside Spain. Nobody knew Monastrell, but we knew that all the varieties were not easy especially to ripe correctly in the region. Tempranillo at that time, when I'm talking about early 70s, Tempranillo was the grape that in many other regions was being quite well established, but we never got in a region to get this Tempranillo properly ripened. So Monastrell was the one that, because of this adaptation to the climate condition, was the one that could obviously bring the result and the quality we were aiming at that time. So it was a question of starting working the vineyard management and do the right job in the vineyard. So at the end, little by little, we've been getting the results that we have today in the wines.
Pretty impressive results. We love the Hecula. This wine, the 2013, is widely available in Vancouver. Do you know the current price? I know it's too low, the current price, but do you know the price offhand?
Yeah, well, we are talking the Hecula in this case. We're talking in the roundabout of $14.
Yeah, $14.
Wow.
I knew you'd be impressed by that.
That is amazing.
Yeah, really a sensational bottle of wine. I love the new package too. So you've really done a great job.
And screw cap.
Correct. We actually, it was something in Spain was not very, a clear vision of having this type of wine under the screw cap. But obviously, a number of markets have started to see this as a super practical and functional thing to handle the bottle. Is it to keep it at some
Daniel, women love screw caps. They can open them right away, and away they go. So that's something that I think is the most important.
Exactly.
And they buy all the wine, so
There we go.
Yeah. You brought another wine with you, which is a completely different animal. We had a chance to taste this in a big tasting last night, and it showed so well for Spain in the tasting. But the Casa Chisca. Now, tell us a bit about this wine. This is a crazy wine.
Correct. Casa Chisca, in this case, comes from the same grape variety, 100% Monastrell, and the point with this wine was to really show what this variety can achieve from super old vineyards. And we are talking about 100 years old vines here.
100 years old?
Yeah, it's
older than us, Kasey.
Oh my, yeah, barely.
Yeah, 100-year-old vines. It's so great.
So it's
what happens with old vines? Like, why is it so great to have old, have fruit from old vines?
Well, the fruit. The amazing thing here is the super concentrated, super sweet fruit we get out of this. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very small quantity. We get into some cases we may see no more than one bunch per vine here.
Right.
So it's phenomenal.
That's really low, yeah.
And it's a high elevation vineyard where we have these vines, and it's amazing. We get the grapes. We do the picking here sometime pretty much at the end of the season. Talking about maybe sometime third week October. So we get super mature fruit. And it's a long process, long vinification, We get good extraction here, and obviously due to the ripening here, we get high alcohol. But it's interesting, the alcohol is so well integrated that you don't feel it.
You don't really feel it. No.
Yeah. It's there is a barrel aging here, but it's not an overwhelming barrel oaky character. The fruit is still super beautifully alive, and it's a very good example.
What kind of foods will the locals be interested in when they're drinking Monastrell in Spain?
Well, Spanish people are starting to discover lesser known region, and Monastrell is starting to be very, very well respected.
Yeah.
In the market there. It's we've been having not easy times in the past years. Rioja, Ribera del Duero have been so well established there.
Yeah, so famous. Tempranillo, so famous. Everybody buying it, but things are changing.
Exactly.
But Monastrell, what about eating? What about food in Spain? What sort of things
would you eat with this?
Well, Casafisca is a good example. I could obviously is a wine to be paired with perhaps hard cheeses. This Manchego mature.
My favorite.
That could be. I mean, it's a big wine that perhaps some good meats, beef, perhaps could be good matching here. That could be a little bit but in most cases, my preference here, especially with this wine, is to enjoy it on its own. It's a wine that you let it breathe, you let it open up, and on its own. I mean, in my opinion, it's an amazing way to feel the pleasure, right, of this wine. Yeah.
Daniel, so great to catch up with you. I've seen you a few times this week. Great to be back in Vancouver.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoy your stay here. And, of course, for our listeners, Spain is the place to go. Take a holiday in Spain and get up to Yecla and check out some of these places. It's so much fun to be in Spain and experience the food and wine culture of that country. Daniel, have a great week in Vancouver.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the crowds, and thanks for your wines.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're listening to the best of food and wine. We've gone from Italy to Spain, and now we're going to take a break. But we won't be away too long. Coming up next, I believe, is from the Okanagan, will be Mission Hill, one of our superstars in the Okanagan. Stick around. You're on 6:50 a.m. It's the best of food and wine. I'm Tony Gismondi.
I'm Kasey Wilson.
And we'll be right back.